I was born in Chicago, Illinois, South Side. It was simple because everybody was more of a family type situation. But all the neighbors, you go to the store, you do something wrong, the neighbors are telling on you. You know, so it was kind of like a village raising the kids. But it was easier for us because, you know, so my father was a police officer in our neighborhood, so we got a lot more respect. But bottom line is, kids are gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna go to gangs. I'll tell you what, in Chicago, we had tough gangs, the Cobra Stones, the Rangers. Houston, where I live, they pick a side of town. That's the name of the game. East side, west side, even the homeless ones outside. It was just unsaid, but you did what they said. It was easier to do what they said than to find out what's coming. If you could be outside, I mean, anywhere, and you know, like I said, when your dad's a cop in the neighborhood, he could pop up at any time. And if he doesn't see you, one of his boys are gonna see you. So it's just easier to stay in line. But I mean, we had curfews and all that, and we respected them. Yeah, that was a day when you couldn't dial 911. And then if you call the police, who's coming? Your dad's friends. A cool part was, though, if somebody did mess with you, you could go home and describe them to your father, and he'd bring them back to the house and bring them to the backyard and explain to them how you're his child and proceed to do what he had to do, and then send them home. So we didn't even need to send them down to the station. He took care of it. My dad arrested 2 guys. It was like militia mischief or whatever. They were out after my dad. And this particular night, weekend, my aunt and uncle had come down from St. Louis. They brought their 2 kids with them. They were out late, you know, with my dad. And they came in probably like 2, 3 in the morning, something like that. And my cousin was in the back in the room with us, and he was crying. He was about 15 months old, and my aunt came and took him to the room with her. They were in my parents' room. My parents gave them their room. My parents were sleeping on the sofa. They let the bed out on the sofa. Next thing, it's like 4 in the morning, and I hear all this screaming. You know, oh my God, you know, what is this? You know, what's going on? I run into the kitchen, and we had this big mirror in the living room, and I looked at it, it was just completely orange. And those were the flames coming from a Molotov cocktail that had been thrown through my parents' bedroom window. And apparently when the bottle of Coke filled with gas came through, the gas spilled on my uncle. And I remember standing in the kitchen. I was about 13, maybe. My uncle ran by me, and he was in flames. His clothes were on fire, and he ran into our bathroom, and I stood there for a minute, frozen for a minute, and I walked in and looked in the bathroom, and he actually had a bucket. As badly as he was burned, he actually had a bucket trying to fill it up with water, like he was gonna go put this fire out. And I saw him, he filled it up, and he turned the water off, and he turned, and then he just kind of fell to the floor, and the bucket just fell on the floor next to him. And to looking at it, it's just like even the skin, everything was just coming, just like it was coming off. He died 3 days later, you know, and left behind a 7-year-old son and a 15-month-old son. And you see, I mean, you can't ever get that image out of your head. I've learned one thing about life being so short. I've learned to love myself, and that's what y'all need to learn, the same thing. As you are. You look at TV is always trying to tell you how you should look. Am I right? Yeah. I can look at a Slim Fast commercial, I don't feel nothing. I can look at that guy go in and out the sandwich shop, it don't make no difference to me. Because see, I'm from the hood. You lost 80 pounds in 6 weeks, you was a crackhead. But you know, those stories, those kind of things are the things that I draw on. And you may think it's weird when I go on stage, how you kind of get in a little psyche to try to get ready. Because comedy to me is not the word you're saying, it's the emotion you put behind the word you're saying. Sometimes that emotion is what other people need to feel.
Wow, it's like she witnessed war firsthand. When we return, we're going to find out how Olivia's experience helped her comedy career, and also how she's known as the female Bob Hope. Isn't Bob Hope white? We'll be right back.
Well, I've been in Korea and Japan the last 30 days entertaining our military troops. Yeah, I am the new Bob Hope. So started out only doing basically Army. You know, now it's Army, Navy, Marines, it's all over. But, you know, it actually was something to open your mind and make you think different. You know, I don't think the same since I've started traveling. I accept anything anybody says. I'm open to whatever, because the world's too big to settle for just what I was taught or just where I came from. You know, you get over into some of these countries and look around, and they are who they are. You know, everybody's not like us. You know, and sometimes I wonder why we always step in other countries trying to make them like us. Yeah, the first time being in the Middle East, just landing in Bahrain and leaving the airport, it's like watching a movie, you know. You know, all these guys with the dress and the whole 9 yards, the women, you can see like this much, you know, which I don't know how they pick up women. You know, you get home, you might have to take that one back. But these guys look down, you know, women are kind of like second class there. But I felt very awkward, but at the same time, I saw how dedicated to these people are to who they are. You know, they've been dedicated to who they are for a long time. Thousands of years, they have such a history, and for other people to disrupt that, I'm still not understanding that. It's different doing military shows than working in a regular comedy club, you know, here at home, because you don't know where those guys are coming from that day, what they've been through the last couple of days. And they just want to come and have a good time. And the guys, they're good guys, you know, and they're just out there. I think they got way more than they bargained for. I think that they thought they were going to sign up and get free tuition and buy a house on the GI Bill and grow old. And I mean, the fact is, a lot of them aren't going to grow old. And that's the hard part, to sit up and listen to them talking to you. They need the guys there, you know, they're shortage at this point. So it's hard to get out. Once you're there, you're there. Whatever they tell you to do, that's what you signed up for. So sometimes, I guess you need to read between the lines when you start signing, you know, paperwork. See, and that's another thing that the troops don't, they get medical bills. We went to a hospital, a guy lost his arm, there was another one lost his foot. He had a $2,300 bill where he was medevac somewhere. He told me he had to pay for it. You're taking it out his check. I don't get it. When I see those guys, I always think about my kids when I see those guys. I mean, they're all the same age, and that's the approach I take when I do the comedy. From a mother's perspective, talking down to them and reminding them of their mothers. And that's what makes it so funny to them. Who got kids by applause? Y'all got kids? All right, you know they're at home going through your stuff right now, right?
I really respect her more now as I'm older, because I realize that she can still do that and be home to raise us and teach us right from wrong. And she's not like I would say, the average mother who would be on your coattail every 5 seconds about everything that you do. She pretty much gives us our freedom, but she draws the limits. And for that, I thank her, and she has made us even stronger as grown-ups now today.
But the reason I keep going over there is because I know they're over there. And I know they need to laugh. And you never know if you're going to be like the last laugh when you do what you do over there.
Wow, that is so cool that she's bringing much-needed laughter to our troops abroad. I would just like to take this moment to say thank you to all our troops for all your support, keeping our country safe. Thanks so much. I'm Jill Michelle Melian, and see you next time on Inside Joke.
Yo no soy soy